Lately because of the coronavirus, a lot of people have been very concerned about the economy. And because of this, they've been asking me a lot of questions in my live chats about investing in precious metals. They've been asking me, do you invest in precious metals? Which precious metals are the best to invest in? Gold, silver, platinum, what? Well, to answer your questions, I have been investing pretty heavily in precious metals for a while now. But they aren't gold or silver or platinum. Mostly it's copper, brass, and lead. It's ammunition. Because ammunition is a far better investment against things collapsing than gold, silver, titanium, platinum, whatever you want to invest in. If you've ever spoken to a true investment specialist, not a gold broker or a precious metals broker, they will tell you precious metals still have a small place in the market as a hedge against inflation, but even that is dwindling nowadays. As gold is not being used as currency anymore, it's also not being used in the markets that it was previously used heavily in. It used to be the dental industry and the electronics industry were some of the biggest users of gold. That's fading away. You don't see gold fillings much anymore unless you're a rapper, gold grills and stuff. And the electronics industry is moving to man-made self-healing alloys and things like that that are much better than gold as conductors and way, way, way cheaper. So gold is fading away as having any practical use whatsoever. The only industry it's really important in anymore is the jewelry industry, and that is absolutely worthless in times of need. You can't eat your jewelry. So I don't invest in gold, silver at all, period. There's none of that in my portfolio. I have some silver coins and stuff, but other than that, they're more collector's items than they are an investment. Gold just isn't that great because gold has had value in the past, which was also mostly created value so that families that were in power could stay in power by hoarding gold and telling everyone how valuable it was. In the future, we could just decide gold's not worth anything. If tomorrow they said, we're not using gold for any type of standard anymore, it has no intrinsic value. So if people's desire to have it faded away, it would be worthless. And that could very easily happen in the future, especially when it's no longer used, like I said, in electronics, the dental industry, and jewelry becomes less of an important thing in times of crisis. So I invest in bullets, like I said, because here, look at it this way. Let's say we have a severe economic collapse in this country. And for a while, for any extended period of time, people have to rely on what they can produce or procure themselves for survival. Let's say your neighbor has livestock and you would like to get a couple of his chickens or something. If you go over to him in a time of severe crisis and say, hey, I'll give you 5 gold bars for 2 of your chickens, he's going to say, well, I can't feed those gold bars to my family or my livestock. I can't use those gold bars to keep people from coming in and stealing my crops or my livestock. So that gold has really no value to me at this moment. And at this moment, I'm in survival mode, so all I care about is things that help me survive. So that gold's going to be valueless in that situation. However, if he has some firearms that he is now out of ammo for, and I go over with a crate of ammo and say, hey, I'll give you a crate of ammo for maybe a couple of goats and a couple of chickens, that's a much more enticing deal. Because he could say to himself, okay, I could probably spare 2 goats and 2 chickens if I could still protect my property and the other things that I have. Because if I can't do that, I might lose all of it because there's a lot of unscrupulous people in the world. So that ammo is worth way over its weight in platinum or gold in that situation because it actually has real world value. So in that case, it's a good trade. And it doesn't have to be just a direct trade either. You could say, hey, you've got all this livestock, you've got all these fields, you can't guard them 24/7. If you want me to, at night, my son and I will come over with our rifles and our ammo. We'll guard your fields, we'll guard your livestock. And in the daytime, you give us a portion of whatever you reap that day as for payment for our services with our guns and our ammo. So as you can see, ammo is going to be a lot more valuable in a bad situation. And as far as, like I said, a hedge against inflation, most major investing companies say now that it's probably not going to be any good in the future. So I'm not worried about that either. Another metal you could invest in is also, steel, carbon steel, stainless steel, firearms, basically. Because the firearms themselves are going to be invaluable if things go bad for any period of time. Imagine if, like I said, that situation happens, we have an economic collapse, and for any period of time, be it 2 months or 2 years or whatever, there's no longer an active law enforcement. The rule of law means nothing. It comes down to how well you can survive on your own for a while. Imagine how valuable a firearm will be to someone that doesn't have one in that situation. Hell, you'll probably be able to trade a handgun for a whole cow. If not a cow, a pig, and some chickens. So in a bad situation, the value of your lead, brass, copper, carbon steel, stainless steel, etc. is going to be worth its weight in gold, diamonds, and pistachio ice cream, because it's going to be far more valuable than gold or silver or anything else that has no actual real world value. So when people ask me, do I invest in precious metals? Yes, I do. They're just not the ones you would think of.